Hi, welcome to my channel, where we talk about the benefits of French penis enhancements. Today we're going to be playing Tiny Bunny. It's a Russian horror visual novel. It looks extremely interesting, and everything I've seen about it online says it's pretty good. So let's go ahead and jump into it. The wind clawed at my window all night long. It wandered the fields and howled like a hungry beast. An endless song weaved from all sorts of voices, shrill, gentle, sneery, twinned in the air. They were shouting and laughing, and arguing about something. Someone was running through the snow while casting long shadows that would occasionally creep close to my bed. Our house had a mind of its own, creaky old mind of a building that had seen a lot in its days, and was seemingly trying to share its wisdom with the inhabitants. The lonely house faced the forest, and the dark green thicket gazed back with its hollow eyes, rustling, whistling, swaying, back and forth. Could you imagine if it did swagging? That'd be hilarious. One could come out and stand at the edge of the forest to reassure themselves there was nobody behind the crooked trees. Fuzzing silhouettes swaying in the wind couldn't possibly do any harm. It's just a play of light and shadow. Just a play. Haha. I knew it was just my imagination. I was already 12 after all. Still, shit's scary. Oh, is that a wolf? It looked like a wolf. Hey, put your book away. Put away your book, dumb fuck. How many times have I told you not to read at the table? It's bad for your health. I don't want you to be too smart. Look at how slouched you are. He's got the gamer posture. Hide it. Hide the book. I didn't protest and put the book about Conan the Barbarian aside. I was stuck on a line I couldn't understand after reading it 3 times anyways. Is that an O? Alia? Alia had already finished her breakfast and was munching on some cookies. She was enthusiastic. She almost looked like your typical girl from commercials. Oh, they're TVs. You're not going anywhere until you finish all of it. I, on the other hand, was still trying to drill a hole in the plate with my eyes as if it would make the porridge disappear. This motherfucker don't like porridge? Hazing, anxiousness welled up inside, all because of the previous sleepless nights. The black forest around our house and the glooming wind. The longer I waited, the colder the lumpy white substance became. It looked like a jellyfish from the Kastu Odyssey. I love that show. I wonder how horrifying the bottom of the ocean is. Alright, that's, I feel for him, though. Or how cold the black forest is at night. The spoon fell out of my hand. Mom showered me with a cold glare from her green eyes. Mom kinda cute, dude. What did I just say? I'll get it. I had 10 seconds to catch my breath before battering the nasty porridge once again. Battling the nasty porridge once again. Felt around the spoon. What is this? Carved on the other side of the table. Karina? Hey, that's my mom's name. Hey Mom, check this out. I guess she carved it out with something pointy when she was little. Sure, she was a rascal, damaging the furniture like that. She would have scolded me for a week if I did something similar, though. Fucking bitch. Should I remind her about it? Nah, she's been in a bit of a bad mood lately. I imagine her being my age, sitting under the table. I wonder, was Mom afraid of the dark back then? Or the sounds coming from the attic? Or the thick forest? Or the man who lives in the bathroom? Or the old lady who shrieks at night outside of our door? Oh shit. Okay. I imagine my grandma coming into my little mom's room, sitting at the edge of the bed where Olya sleeps nowadays, and saying this in her soft, smooth voice. Tolga is a special place. Oh, wait. Taiga is a special place, little girl. It's watching you closely, sniffing you out, trying to discern what kind of beast you are. If you're a good snort, it won't abandon you in times of trouble. But if you're a bad apple, it'll grab you by the side and drag you under the ground. And that would be it. Grandma was caring. She never fought with anybody, never yelled, never swore. Those were the times without the maddening screams till late at night. Without smashed dishes and muddle accusations. Our parents used to love each other back then. I remember listening in one of their conversations by chance. They're talking about Grandma getting prepared for her funeral. Damn. She had already bought a casket. That's just depressing. And she's called it her cute funeral box. I waited for its time in the closet patiently. Oh, it waited, sorry. It was black, unholstered, with meat-colored material on the inside. I saw it when my grandma was getting buried. The house didn't change since the time she was alive. Only all the photos were gone. Glass-covered pictures with gray faces of my ancestors. They all had been dead, but watchful look in their eyes. I crawled out from under the table. Olya was done with her cookies and was looking at my share like a sly woodland critter. I turned my gaze toward the frosted window. There was a lot of dark pines outside, but they didn't grab my attention. The pattern of the frost formed a picture on the glass. Oh look, it's a fox. It's a fox. I thought it was a wolf. Where? It looked almost like those optical illusion thingies they put on the back of student notebooks. A mixture of lines at first glance, but if you blur your vision a little bit and look under a certain angle. Not outside, on the window, you dumb buck. Oh, there it is. Look, here's the nose. And here's the tail. And what big eyes. Hey, eat up. Yes, just a moment. I don't see anything. Hurry up, there's not much left. Ah, there it is. But it doesn't look like one. And I'm telling you, it does. Nuh-uh. It does. Stop it. These kids, I swear. Now I couldn't see the fox either. It disappeared. Went away. Only the frosty pattern similar to stretched out nether leaves kept creeping up the glass. Oh shit. My dad entered the kitchen with long, measured steps. I went to have bread. Oh, I went to have a beer. I want to have a beard like his when I grow up. A manly beard. Mom would always ask, jokingly, come on, shave it off, it stings. Oh, okay. This was so long ago. Now they fucking hate each other. It's 'cause of my sister. Nowadays, rambling doors and witty comebacks were an everyday occurrence. Olya always covers her ears whenever she hears something like, what's the point in all this, through the wall. It's all for your sake, Dad would reply, for the sake of our family. I always caught every sound in fear of hearing the most dreaded, the deadliest word that started with a D. D-I-V. I don't even want to finish it. Ooh. You know what he was trying to spell? Decepticon. It was scary to imagine that me and my little sister could be torn apart and taken into two different families. Anyway, your fox is nothing. I have an owl in my window. Fuck your owl. You and your owl talk again. You said you believed me just yesterday. Has anybody seen my cookies? The fuck? Oh, this is great dialogue. I love it. I remember leaving them on the windowsill. Right. Maybe you did, maybe not. You're a grown man, fathered too, and still... Karina? Shut up. Just let me get ready in peace, bitch. Your keys are in the basket near the phone. Well, thank you very much. Take my porridge to go. Anton, stop making a martyr out of yourself and finish eating already. And the owl? There was no owl. But there was one. It had a giant glowing eyes. Oh. Ola sprung up from the chair and placed her hands on her little face, imitating a pair of eyes with her fingers the size of an apple each. Last year you had Baba in your closet, and now this owl? But I saw it. Olya shifted her gaze back and forth from my dad to Mom to me, but couldn't find any support. Have you thought about befriending it? You know, like feeding it with imaginary mice. Don't bully our girl. She's just afraid to sleep alone because she's still little. Olya pouted her lips in rebellion and rushed into the hallway. The staircase that led to the second floor creaked. Mom gave Dad a strict look. Oh, that look in her eyes. So uncomfortable to be pinned under it. Dad just snorted and replied and left, ringing with the keys he just found. A minute had passed and the theme song from Little Mermaid echoed through the house. It was stored on an incredibly worn-out cassette tape, which Dad already had to glue together once. It's so easy to fix objects by gluing them back together, for example. But how do you fix a relationship? Oh, it's one of those games, huh? Mom moved into the living room, and I was left alone, anxiously stealing glances at the window. Just finish your fucking porridge, dude. Olya had trouble sleeping ever since we moved to this house. She would toss and turn, curl up into a ball under her blanket. Sometimes she would jump up in the middle of the night and turn on the VCR. Cartoons helped her to take her mind off all the troubles we had with the move and her parents. Whoa, the fucking shit. And then Alan said she saw that giant flying monster outside the window. She became obsessed with it. Our parents did everything in their power. They tried every little trick to get rid of those ridiculous fears. Olya refused to sleep alone and didn't believe that the owl was just one of her nightmares. After tonight, I was unsure what to make of my sister's words, what to think of it myself. Can nightmares become infectious? Just last night, I couldn't get a wink of sleep and ended up thinking about what to expect for my new school. There were a couple of days left before the beginning of a new term. My imagination drew long, twisting hallways that led to a classroom full of kids. but all the students behind their desks were simply dark figures, cut out using a template. Circular holes, gaped in the middle of their faces, and pairs of eyes blinked inside those holes. It was as if someone completely different creatures were looking at me from behind the flat back silhouettes, black silhouettes. That was the hardest thing to read in this entire game. Their cruel glares filled with icy sneers made me shiver from head to toe. Will I survive here? It's just school, dude. Stop being a bitch. Won't they gang up on me and beat me down? Stomp on me with their bloody shoes? Sounds like he wants that to happen. Oh man, it'd be so bad if that happened. I wouldn't want to get beat up. The damn school can burn for all I care. I just wished for anything to happen to it. Doesn't really matter what. I didn't want to go there that badly. I didn't want to see people who are just itching to smack me on the head, trip me up, think of a new offensive name for me, worse than the previous one. I felt like glasses I wore made me an outsider or some sort of monster. My gaze slid across the drawings hanging on the walls. I couldn't consider myself a great artist, but Ola begged me to hang them. Drawing was the only thing that made me happy as of late. The small circle of friends I had also enjoyed my paintings, and they promised to call me from time to time. Sometimes I imagine Mom picking up the phone and saying in a cold voice, "You've got the wrong number," or "Anton is not around. Anton is not around." I imagine my future classmates lying in their beds just like me, listening to the howls of invisible werewolves outside their windows. Maybe my new classmates will like me after all. But who would ever like a boy with thick glasses? I don't know, them glasses be thick. I mean, my dad used to wear glasses when he was little, and now he's married to the most beautiful woman on the planet. My mom. Yo. He right, though. The house creaks, pressed by the wind. The condo we used to live in, a 9-floor concrete building, buzzed with the neighbor's drill, mumbled with a TV set from behind the wall, cried like a baby from the big family next door. Our current house, though I can't really call it new, was completely different. It was silent and easygoing during the day. Its shadows lay dormant in the corners, on the closet, cobwebs, and under the stairs. But they all woke up during the night. Sometimes, something was watching me from every corner, almost as if old photos of my distant family was ashen eyes were hanging on the walls in place of my drawings. The floor was squeaking, rusty drains were moaning, the attic was occupied by noisy drafts. One could think the house was performing some sort of demonic melody. I like that. It was clever. And then I realized I was, in fact, hearing music, and it was already playing for a good while. Somewhere at the edge of my perception, I could hear a flute. It was mixed in the sound of the wind and the creaking of the old house. My thoughts, too. I stood up and rushed to the window. I wanted to reassure myself that the music was nothing more than a product of my imagination. It's not like someone is playing out there amidst the cold, snowy night, right? It's really bright. What the? Someone was dancing in the field. Black silhouettes I could barely make out with the dark forest as their backdrop. They jumped around, basked in the moonlight, bumped into piles of snow, rolled around and crawled on all fours. That's kind of cool. I like that. Stories about wolves playing under the moon came to mind, but these were clearly not wolves. They stood upright at times, circled around holding hands and whipping up snow, disappearing into the shadows for a brief moment, then coming back. Something bizarre was going on. Shadows dancing in the starless abyss made my imagination go wild, making me anxious at the same time. Suddenly, the music had stopped. Oh shit. The dancing shadows froze in place. I could swear. Pierced me with their eyes. One of the silhouettes immediately parted from the bizarre shadow carnival and sprinted across the field with giant leaps. Oh, fucking shit. Oh my god, that was... I was not expecting that. Even though it literally told me what was going to happen. God, that was so freaky. It glided on squeaky snow without leaving any prints until it was devoured by the pitch black shadow of my house, which became even darker and thicker. My heart was jumping around like the bird inside a cage. Oh my god. I shut the curtains with swift motion and stepped back toward the bed. They saw me. A freezing torrent of fear washed over me. I stood in the middle of a perfectly dark room and listened to some unwanted guests move and scrape around looking for an entrance. The sound moved to the right, then circled around the house. Now my guests should be at the front door. I jumped into bed, covered myself with a blanket, as if it could protect me. The shackles of fear locked my muscles. I remember the funeral, my grandma lying there, hands crossed on her chest, her facial features sharp like that of tinfoil. Tyndall, ants running up and down my legs of chairs that held my grandma's casket. I imagined those little creatures climbing up on her head and pulling their eyelids with their tiny legs. Then her wrinkly eyeballs would once again move inside the sockets and she'd be able to see her grandchildren. That's fucking weird. I was chattering the spell she taught me throughout the whole procedure. And now lying under the blanket, listening to the squeaks and howls, I was repeating the same words. On the island of Guyan, underneath the blemished sun and the sea of color blue, stand a cabin made of wood. There lay lard and ashen hair for the spawn from devil's lair, to feast always leave alone. God's fabled servant named Anton. Evil leaves this house. Must. Evil leave this house must. Evil leave this house must. That's kind of... must be a translation thing. Ashes to ashes, dust to dust. Bizarre sound had disappeared. I cautiously peeked out from the blanket and saw curtains waving around like a hangman. And then the night doused me with a new portion of boiling terror. And the sound scratched at my eardrums. In reality, something or someone were scratching at the front door, hurriedly clawing at the wood, demanding to be let in. The door was shut. Dad had become very cautious recently, so he installed a sturdy lock. I remember him staring at the forest intensely as if he was looking for someone. Ashes to ashes, dust to dust. I hugged my knees, placing my chin between them, and drilled the door with my eyes. It was so flimsy and weak before the might of darkness. And then, oh fuck. The doorknob twitched slightly. It turned halfway once, twice, as if a person who tried to enter had no hands. The doorknob tilted once more, and then started clicking violently. My jaw cramped from fear. My wet fingers clenched the blanket. Oh shit. The door creaked open. The wind taunted me, moaning inside the tin drains. Now you'll see. Oh fuck, dude. The door was wide open. The darkness withered inside the carnivorous mouth of the doorway. Tony? Oh no. It was as if the night itself was calling out to me, flapping its black wings and squeaking with rusty hinges. It was trembling, ensnared by the web of darkness that hung in the corners of my room, waiting for the one who weaved it to come out from the gaping black hole. Tony. Who the fuck is Tony? Oh, fuck. My abdomen tightened, and my chest rose up, ready to exhale as a desperate scream. But before I was able to do anything, the darkness asked me, Tony, you asleep? You good, Tony? Oh, fuck. Oh. My sister's pale face protruded from the thick shadows. I almost screamed from relief. Olya, I'm not sleeping. Did something happen? Olya frowned and stuck out her lower lip, a clear sign that she was about to cry. It's there again, staring at me. Shoo her away, Tony, please. I'm so scared. Oh, and Tony, short for Anton. It's like a... Okay, alright. I was like, why the fuck did they call him Tony? The fear that was tormenting me just a minute ago crawled away and hid somewhere in my stomach. I needed to calm Olya down. It was just a dream, silly. Don't be scared. Dreams don't bite. No one's going to harm you. Even though I was literally just about to shit my pants. Olya sobbed. She was trying her best to believe me, but was I sure myself? I have an idea. Let's go to your room and watch a video. Sleeping Beauty, for example. You like that cartoon, don't you? Why does the Sleeping Beauty have a prince and I have a scary bird? That question took me by surprise. Alright, let's watch Cinderella. My thoughts became tangled, fuzzy. What was that? What studied me with its eyes while dancing feverishly under the moon? The darkness was clinging to the window, and I couldn't be fooled by my grandma's old chants. It couldn't be satisfied with the feast of lard and long ashen hair. Tony, you coming? Yes, just a moment. Oh my god. Holy shit. Oh, fuck. Did it die? What the fuck? Oh my god. That's why I didn't want you to laugh at Olya and her owl in the morning. What the fuck? It was a dream? It was a dream. Who could be visiting us here in the middle of nowhere? Why are you guys living in the middle of nowhere? We don't know anyone around here. God, that scared the shit out of me. Oh my god. So persistent. I felt extremely unsettled from just the silly thought that our morning guests could have come from the woods. I could barely hear voices coming from the front door. My mind was urging me to hide. In the closet, under the table, behind the curtains where Olya always hides. Tony, come here. I felt like kettlebells were tied to my feet, but still dragged them toward the hallway. A couple of policemen towered over me in the doorway. They smelled like frost and worry. My mom always winced and grumbled the moment she saw patrol cars, worse than bandits. At the moment, though, she looked somewhat confused. Hello? The senior officer, who wore a grim expression, nodded. A boy had gone missing yesterday. His name's Vova. Look at this, please. Have you seen him? The policeman held out a photograph to me. Aw, kitty. There was a ginger boy around the age of elementary school, pictured with a wall carpet as the backdrop. He had a striped cat in his hands and wore a wide smile. No, I haven't. Are you sure? Look closely. Where would I see him? I don't know anyone around here. I barely leave the house. Well, maybe you've seen him from the window. That's right, your window looks straight at the forest, don't they? Your windows. The window? Oh. No, I haven't seen anything. I see. He sounded tired, but his eyes, his stare, long and heavy, full of suspicion. I squirmed unwittingly under the weight of guilt which his giant shadow cast over me. The policeman finally tore his eyes from me and glanced over the hallway, the stairway, and the cracks in the ceiling, which I haven't noticed before for some reason. How do you like your new place, by the way? Getting used to it? Bit by bit. It's just our little daughter misses the city a lot. Misses the city, huh? Have the locals been treating you well? Yes, everything is alright, thank you. The policeman pierced through me one more time with his gray eyes. My head started spinning. Can I help you somehow? I asked that in a shaky voice to look like a polite boy and end this unpleasant conversation sooner. Now that I think about it, yeah, you can. You look just like one of my nephews, little fella. That's fucking weird to talk to a kid that way. Little fella, you look just like my cousin. He's a witty boy around your age, wears the same type of goggles, ha. Always engrossed in reading those mystery novels. Hey, that rhymes. Told me he wants to enroll in police school when his family visited this summer. Wanted to help other people, just like me, see? I felt uncomfortable, as if a distant relative and not a police officer stood before me. You know what? Little boys like you should stay at home. Steer away from trouble. The times have changed so much. Mom interjected in a cold voice. You don't say. Ah, well then. What grade are you in, Tony boy? How does he know my name? Oh wait, she called me. 6. Have you made any friends here so far? Not yet. I'll be going to school for the first time after the break. Ah, then I'll leave you my number, just in case. Call me if you have any new info or if you want to go get some ice cream. The policemen were going along with their shadows. The small, cheap cologne and the photo of a smiling boy. His face still stood before my eyes. I wondered what it was like for him, being all alone there. For some reason, I thought of the forest swaying in the wind. What did those poor parents feel? What would my parents do if I'd gone missing? Or would they cry and thrash around hysterically? Or would they accuse each other like they always do and forget about me eventually? Mom, this Vova, did he go missing in our forest? Seems like it. Poor child. I looked out the window at the road. The police drove off toward the village. The officer's nephew came to mind as I was splitting off old paint from the windowsill. I remembered all the teenage mystery novels from the Black Kitty series I'd read this summer. Your average boy and girls investigated all sorts of mysteries there. They looked for clues and spied on suspicious people. And after a set of amazing adventures, bam, solved complicated cases. They became local celebrities and must have made their parents very proud. I noticed a trail of policemen's footprints that had led to the forest, and then it clicked in my head. Why don't I start investigating on my own? And that's why shit's gonna get fucked, because this kid's gonna go looking around where he shouldn't be. Maybe I'll find that lost boy, and I'll get a reward. Ola would be so happy. And not only Ola, Mom and Dad too. They'll love me then. Maybe they'll even forget about the quarrels for a while. Poor kid. Maybe I'll even save us from the D word. I fantasized about buying Ola Kamagachi and getting a cassette player with a bunch of tapes for myself. And a whole box of Kinder Surprise. When was the last time our parents bought us any toys? All I have is fucking murder books. Last autumn, I think my dad had lost his job at the time. There's that ongoing. There's that annoying song about it. I had a little to no idea what was the accountant's job like. They count money, I think. Neighbors used to envy us. But nowadays, Mom and Dad barely had money to afford sweets, and Dad would always divide a single chocolate bar between me and Ola. Sometimes I gave her my share too. No matter how much I wanted to eat sweets, she was just as pipsqueak. I couldn't wait to go out, looking for clues. I'm going outside. Yeah, right. You want the police to go around with your photograph next? The forest is so thick. It's a thick forest. It's thick as fuck, man. It's thicker than that porridge you had earlier. What if the boy got snatched up by wild animals or something worse? Even worse echoed through the hallway. I won't go far. I'll stay away from the forest. Promise. Did you hear that? Did you hear what I said? Or should I repeat myself? Better go unpack your school bag. Or play with Ola. The sound of splashing water came from the kitchen. It meant that the argument was over and Mom had the last word. Dark, stuffy closet. Mom says it smells like mice, but how would she know their smell? She hates it when I stick my nose in there. She's afraid I'll cut myself on the freshly sharpened axe. And Ola can't even be lured close to it. She thinks Baba is living there. I tried to help her forget her fears once. I opened the door, turned on a dim lamp, so she would see there is nothing but cobwebs, Dad's tools, and scratched walls. She still didn't believe me. And I like to hide in the closet and listen to Ola count outside. 1, 2, 3, better hide from me. And then drag her feet on the creaking floorboards, hoping that she wouldn't need to look for me in the cramped monster den. Alright, so let's go in the kitchen. Oh shit. Mom, something wrong with the TV? The picture is dim and there's stripes all over the screen. Mom's face became visibly distorted. Oh, you're killing me here. So have you had enough shooting those stupid ducks now? Told you the kinescope will go dim because of your console. Where will you find a TV technician in this hole, huh? Maybe it's just the settings? Please go see for yourself. Strange, it worked fine this morning. Maybe the snowfall caused it. Mom rubbed her hands clean with her apron and went to Ola's room. She's gone. Let's see what we got. What we got here? Grandma kept ice cream for me and Ola there, but now all I could see was meat bits for soup and clumped together palmanini. I grew to hate them already. Alright. So obviously... Oh, the cross had been seen. So many people come and go in the house. It went black. It was black, as if it absorbed all human sin from the long years it was hanging under the ceiling. After Grandma died, Mom was going to take it off and hang a horseshoe in its place as a lucky charm. But she cut herself with the cross, sharp corner, and almost fell from the stepladder. Dad called it a sign from above and ordered the cross to be left, alone in its rightful place. Alright. Okay. Can't click on anything else. Nope. What's this? Mom's peg top? A family relic. My mom played with it when she was little, then she gifted it to me. Olya was the next succession in line. Toy belonged to her now. She started dancing. Okay, I don't give a shit about this. Unless it's important later. Is there anything? Alright, my parents prohibited me from making long distance calls. But from time to time, I really want to hear my old friends. Alright, let me actually... Oh, yeah. Okay. That's the phone number. Is there anything else I can... Alright. Because I know he left it, so I might be able to use the phone later to call him. Can I call him now? Anton, get your hands off the phone. Alright. Radio. Americana, Russia has declared the state of emergency due to weather conditions. According to the weather forecast, a cyclone is moving toward the region. Expect heavy snowfall, blizzards, and snowdrifts on the road. Keep your eyes open and take care of yourself. Oh, I already opened everything. Alright. Let me see. Let me make sure. Did I already click on it? I didn't click on this. I took a peek at Mom's crossword. She would get very angry when someone gave her advice, so me and Dad faked knowing the answer and being about to reveal it all the time. I smiled at that fleeting thought. Vertical 9 letters, the name of Philistine deity that protected them from viper bites, and had a nickname, Lord of Flies. Fly, whatever. The decrypted and stained covered calendar was once my favorite form of entertainment in Grandma's house. I remember waking up and running to the kitchen so I could tear off yesterday's leaf first thing in the morning, as if the coming day would get lost in taiga forest without my help. One day closer to New Year's, one day closer to Grandma's funeral. I haven't touched the calendar for years now. Alright. Oh, I grabbed a dusty calendar. Okay. Alright, so I have calendar leaf. This guy really explains and details so much shit. Like, oh my god. Alright. Opened the front gate and went to the field carefully so my mom wouldn't see me from the window. When I crossed half of the distance toward the forest, the snow pile became high as my knees. I remember my nightly fears. I saw those silhouettes around here. They were jumping around, holding hands. That hypnotizing music started playing in my head all on its own. In the light of day, those distant figures felt like a simple dream. The sun turned my nightmares to ash, but the aftertaste was still there. Oh shit. Distant ringing in my ears, distorted shadows crawling on the snow alongside me, and barely audible whisper in my ear, blurry and almost kind. Everything was silent. So silent, I felt like the world was totally empty. No ground, no sky, no parents, no Ola. The time reached its limit, a one-way trip that ended at the forest's puny stockade. Sometimes silence was much scarier than any scream. Our parents would scream at each other while arguing. Both me and Ola turned to stone listening to them. But then always came the ringing silence. Our apartment became numb a couple of days before we departed. It was hard to remember the last time Mom and Dad joked around, laughing, and spent time together, almost like it was all in a previous life. When they kissed Ola, with Ola present, she'd always frown and snorted in a funny way. But one day it all changed. Something important had left our home, and something scary filled the remaining void. It was as if a fire broke up, and our parents were hurriedly packing our belongings, trying to save themselves and us. From who, though? From the people with dead cold eyes who sometimes visited us in our previous home. The eyes that only saw balls of worms on the black ground and everything. And somewhere far away a siren was going off, trying to warn us of the coming menace. I shriveled, chasing away my delusions, and looked around. There was only me, this white field, and the wind that was whipping up icy dust and belts of powdered snow. I squinted from the sun and turned my eyes to the sunless forest. It looked especially dark in contrast with the blinding whiteness. Knobbing tree roots slithered under the snow like fat snakes. That's a description. Rotten leaves and coniferous needles froze the ice. Is that a glove? Oh, shit. Dry, prickly branches intertwined, bringing up uncomfortable thoughts about fences. You don't like fences, my dude? Were they protecting the forest? Or were they keeping something from breaking out? Some object was hanging from one of the pointy branches. Tried to get closer, drowning in the snow. And when I almost got to the edge of the forest, I saw a knitted mitten. It looked like it would have a wounded bird among the hungering semi-dark. Should I take it to the police? The senior officer looked gloomy, but he still reminded me of Captain Casanova from my favorite TV show called The Streets of Brooklyn Lights. He was also always anxious, with a tired look in his eyes, but still brave and strong. If this mitten helped them find the lost boy? Vova! Why did I scream that? I heard in a distant shout. It looked like it came from the river. Vova, as if the trees were calling out to somebody. Vova resounded closer to me. Someone was standing there behind the trees, hiding. Vova. I knew someone was looking for the lost boy, but still, something was unsettling about the figure. Its stillness, how it was bent unnaturally toward the ground. Its blackness. There's no one there, just branches and roots. It's all in my imagination. A nearby bird flapped its wings loudly. Oh, fuck. A shadow split from the tree and disappeared from my sight. It looked away for just a moment, but when I turned my gaze back to the same place, it was gone. So it was my imagination after all. Silence ringed from a painfully long time. My muscles were tightly sprung. My heart was beating somewhere in my throat. Any noise, any little movement, any small whisper from the thicket, and I'd sprint. But nothing of the sort happened. I looked at the mitten once more. Shit. Do I take it? Let's try and take it. Oh, I decided to take the lonely mitten from the branch. Oh, shit. Vova. Oh, fuck. I'm gonna die, am I? Shout rumbled across the field, dissolved into the distance. No echo, no hope for a reply. Oh my god. Well, I stepped toward the bristly tree and tried to claim my find. Oh no. It didn't bulge. Pulled it harder, the branch cracked under the mitten, tore off, landed in my hand with a squishy sound. All too heavy, wet. I squeezed it without thinking, and something dark spilled from it, forming a tiny string between the mitten and the snow. Stem roses from the snow pile. Oh shit. Dude, run, my motherfucker. Come on. Red. The sound of cracking branches invaded the silence. Aw, fuck. I didn't have to think twice before running away. Yeah, someone was chasing me from the darkness, breaking pine branches, closing the distance with giant leaps. Snow was slowing me down. Crazy thoughts through my mind. I'll get caught. They'll get me. I'll get dragged into the thicket. I'll be gone forever. There was one more voice, probably one of reason, that gave me strength, spurred me on. You could do it. Don't stop. I heard an animal roar behind me. It was so loud my ears went numb. It felt like the sound had come from a pack of hungry beasts rather than a single one. Their nostrils sucked in freezing air. They sensed my fear. 2 giant wings flapped above my head. An enormous shadow flew over the clearing, a hoot, a wheeze. The roars were coming from all directions now. From the dried up raspberry bush, from twisted pines, from under the windfall. Hurry, run, don't look back. Felt like I was inside a nightmare. The snowy clearing became vicious and quicksand. I was stuck in place. I pulled my leg from the mushy trap to get caught in the new one even deeper than before. I continued to drown, sinking deeper and deeper with every desperate push. Was snow ever this sticky? I screamed in horror after realizing that this wasn't so. Someone or something in the snow pile was clutching my pants. I gathered all my strength and rushed forward. The pressure on my leg was gone, my boots slipped out of the hole, and my soles were on hard surface again. I reached a clear path, one jump, and from there, I ran to my house. Its gloomy facade didn't look threatening now. That house was my line of defense from the shadows that flapped their wings and creatures that were hidden under the snow. I tripped over the doorstep and smashed into the door. In all my hurry, I managed to notice the claw marks, as if a dog was striking the wood with its paws, demanding to be let in so it could escape the cold. I hadn't noticed these marks when I was leaving. The heartbeat in my ears was much louder than my surroundings. I couldn't hear whether someone was following me or not. What if they were already in our front yard and my mom had locked the door? Drowning in fear, I pulled on the doorknob and obediently gave way. It obediently gave way. Oh my god. I rolled into the hallway and shut the door behind me. Porch planks creaked, helped my pressures descended the stairs. My fingers slipped off the lock and I couldn't click it into place. I gritted my teeth and pulled hard on the knob, whipping in between the boards. I stared blankly at the door. Someone was standing on the other side of the pitiful, flimsy barrier that was probably less useful than blankets. Wheezing breath reached into the house, crashed at me in waves. It smelled of pine and sweat. Mom peeked out of the kitchen and kissed me with some friggin' voice she always used when talking to Dad. What exactly did you not understand when I told you never to slam the door? I didn't mean to. I snuck a glance at the door and the smell was gone. And the breath was too. If there was someone in there in the first place, of course. Here we're 5 meters away from Mom. My fear was slowly weakening, melting like snow in spring, and with it, the last bit of strength I had left in my body too. My legs gave way. I propped myself up against the wall so I wouldn't fall over. Mom's expression had changed immediately. The cold mask of strictness and detachment was gone. Mom looked the same as before all those squirrels. She finally saw my condition, my wet pants plastered with snow. Where have you been? What did I tell you, huh? I told you to stay home. Am I nothing to you, too? I got afraid she would cry. I reached out to her, like when I was very little and wanted her to cuddle me. But Mom regained her composure fast and put on her usual face. Her eyes shined like steel. Her voice rang out. Your dad can't find his cigarettes. Be honest, did you snatch them? Were you smoking in secret? There was someone chasing me, I thought. I stuttered as soon as I started explaining myself. Tears welled up in my eyes. Mom leaned toward me and sniffed my clothes like a beast searching for the smell of tobacco. Then she squinted her eyes in suspicion and looked into the front yard. Her expression changed in an instant and she covered her mouth with her hand. Look, over there, at the fence. My heart started thumping as if I became prey once again and my pursuers were following me into the field. I could swear that I've heard something scratch at the door, just like in my nightmares. Mom beckoned me with her finger, and I gathered all my remaining bravery to look into the kitchen window facing my fear. I could barely discern some hairy silhouettes swimming in the snow through the icy winter patterns on the glass. Dogs. Just a small pack of strays with no name and owner, barely reminding of the hungry monsters that live on the edge of the forest. Oh boy, were you scared of them? I think they'd rather be scared of you, Anton. They were chasing me like a bunny. And what if they're rabid? I mean, he's got a point. They live in the forest. The smile had slowly disappeared from Mom's face. Now she looked at the dogs as if it was her first time seeing them. What if they attacked Olia? Mom? I wish your dad could shoot them all. Mom, look, they're alive. Huh? What? Are they your friend or foe after all? Make up your mind. You're not a little kid anymore. Mom sighed in annoyance, and I felt so bitter that I bit my lower lip and fixed my gaze on the cobweb-ridden corner. Well, some detective I am. In reality, I wasn't risking my life among monsters, but rather my pants among a pack of stupid strays. And what for? What use do I have for this? Mitten? Of course. Darkened, strictly mitten that belonged to the boy. The lost boy made a squishy sound in my hand. Seems like I was clutching it the whole time. That's my trump card as a detective. I hurried to present this clue to my mom. Mom, look, this is Vova's mitten. The boy the police were asking about in the morning. It's drenched in blood. I found it hanging on a tree. I can show where. Let's call the police right away, like the officer told us to. Mom, look. Ew! Shadow of doubt slowly crept onto my mom's contorted face, as if she was trying to remember something distant, like someone tries to remember their dream, but the image slipped away. Stop it this moment. Ola will go insane if she hears you. She already has trouble sleeping and whines all the time. And you joke around like this? At the moment I realized the mitten was actually wet from snow. There was no blood whatsoever. I wanted to sink through the floor from embarrassment. Come here, my boy, cried Wolf. Oh, don't just stand there. Come take your pills. You're on meds? A golden-colored pill, reminiscent of a dead wasp, fell onto my palm. I already took one during breakfast. Don't talk over me. I told you to stay home, and Dad would have given you a good whooping for that. Come on, take it, or you won't be able to sleep at night. And you have school tomorrow. So I had to swallow the bitter medication, drinking it down with similarly awful water that gave off a taste of chlorine. Maybe it wasn't Vova's mitten. Maybe it wasn't a mitten at all. Just like the forest monsters and Ola's owl. Am I going mad? What's happening to me? What the fuck? Either the pill had an immediate effect, or my over-excentered brain didn't let fear inside anymore. Overexerted brain. Serenity washed over me, bringing yawning indifference along with it. Anton, you done? See, you can do it when you try. Take off your coat. Are you asleep? No, Mom, I was just thinking. What about it, Wanda? It's just something silly. Mom scrutinized me with suspicious eyes, as if she wasn't sure she was looking at her own son, not at some doppelganger that came from the forest. Is everything alright? You had an exact same expression when the policeman asked you about the window. I'm alright, Mom. She heaved a deep sigh. Fine. It seemed like the house had changed. The sofa's fabric had become discolored. Fingerprints appeared on the bathroom tiles. The light bulbs also felt different, dimmer and yellower. Even the saliva inside my mouth had a different taste. A melody from Aladdin could be heard from the upper floor. Ola was done rewatching her favorite Little Mermaid episode and switched to the other tapes. I slowly changed into home clothes, stopped before the sink, and studied my reflection in the mirror like I was trying to solve one of those spot the difference puzzles. I went upstairs. Jafar and the logo's voices died down. I walked past Ola's bedroom and slipped into my own. Alright, there's a lot of shit I can look at. Alright. Monsters, Ghosts, UFOs. The Encyclopedia of Paranormal Phenomenon from Roseman Publishing. I've learned a lot about Loch Ness Monster. Alright. Ola's always scared of the book. Okay, they didn't. Or Triceratops figure. I know all sorts of dinosaurs. I thought I clicked on the robot. Okay. Oh, it was just that. I dreamt of becoming an artist since Dad bought me my first comic book. Fly magazine was the coolest. I especially liked the big space-related edition with alien monsters and that funny episode about the gender army. What the fuck? I started drawing all kinds of stuff since that day, and I seem to be getting pretty good at it. One of my letters even got published in Fly once. Maybe someday they'll publish my comic. One of the drawers was empty. I hid the policeman's phone number along with the mitten in there. Simple action drained the last bit of strength from me. Sat on the bed, and only then I noticed there was something behind the curtains. Oh my god. There just has to be some... My tired hand dropped to the sheets. Whatever it was due to medication I took or the stress I underwent, the room began to contort as if the wind was blowing the walls out like a pair of sails. The room's corners bent, and the only stable thing in the whole room was the figure between the windowsill and the curtains. A flimsy piece of cloth was stuck to my hidden visitor, just like savant of sorts. Ola? Who else would be standing there? I stood up, licked my dried lips. Yeah, Ola, it's so funny. Silhouette was unmoving. It was enveloped softly by the curtains, as if there was a thick layer of darkness there, not a human being. I reached toward the curtains. Ba-dum, beat my heart. controlled by the medicine. The wind sang in the field with a chorus of voices. For a second, I wanted to return to the bed just to lie down and watch the person behind the curtain, knowing full well they were looking back at me. They're looking without blinking, waiting for me to fall asleep. Plastic rings rested against the holder when I pulled open the curtains. Oh my god, you bitch. Gotcha! I knew it was you from the beginning. Blindingly bright halo lit up above Ola's head with the setting sun as the background. My sister was shining. When she was just a baby, Dad always used to say she was shining with happiness. I always retorted, but Dad, she's not some flashlight. But I brought her to the window one day, and sunlight poured on her smiling face. I felt like I was holding a child woven from light. I saw everything. Oh, really? What did you hide? She was just like Mom when she was little, before she put on her sad mask of tiredness and switched to her commanding tone of voice. It's nothing, just... Ola ran up to the table, her eyes round, and asked, "You stole something and hid it there? Are you a thief?" What? Don't be stupid. I didn't steal anything. A clear image came to mind. That mitten hanging from the tree branch? What if I did steal it after all? From the forest, from the tilted figure standing behind the black trees. Ola could be selfish and stubborn when she wanted. Then show me. I swear that you won't tell anyone. Then I'll show you. Ola wore a plotting smile. I swear on Mom's heart. An oath she heard in one of the movies about the pioneers we watched. Don't say things like that. Ola nodded and made a gesture with her hand, locking her mouth with an imaginary key. She was filled with curiosity that was splashing in her giant eyes. I opened the drawer and Ola leaned in, holding her breath. It looked like there was not just a simple mitten, but some sort of erotic critter. Is that someone's mitten? She said that as if she couldn't understand what she saw. A certain boy lost it and got lost himself. Now you do understand how dangerous it is for kids to wander in the forest, right? He must be really cold out there. Will they find him? They will. The policemen are going to house, showing his photo to everybody. Ola traversed the room with care and pressed her tiny palms against the window. And why are they going to houses and not the forest? Are they scared? The question caught me off guard. I mean, it makes sense. Like, you know, it's what they would do, just, go check the forest, but whatever. The police aren't scared of anything except the forest. Yeah, right, flashed in my clouded mind. Did they really check every nook and cranny where darkness, cold, and whispers of icy branches dwell? If that's the case, how did they miss the mitten? Or did it appear later for me? I changed the topic, as if trying to get Ola as far away as possible from the forest thicket. We may get a reward. I'll go find this boy by myself. If I go find this boy by myself. A lot of stuff, like in Field of Wonders. Sounds cool, right? Ola wasn't listening to me. She was piercing the forest with incredibly adult eyes, uncharacteristic for her. What if the owl got him? Nonsense. An owl won't be able to lift a human. Stupid. But you know what? I was picking my words with utmost care. I forced them out of my overexerted brain. Stay away from the forest. I think it's... How should I put it? It's cursed or something. I mean, I don't know. I'm pretty sure demons live there. Just like a fairy tale? Just like a fairy tale. No, not like that. More like the spooky tape Mom and Dad are hiding from us. It's a porno. Ola shivered and stole a glance at the window. I saw you running away. Someone was chasing you? No, it's just I was hurrying back home, so Mom wouldn't be worried. As I looked at my sister, my heart was tearing apart. She was so fragile, it was easy to stifle her light. A gust of wind, and your small fire would be gone. You're lucky. Mom won't let me go outside. I like a princess in the tower. I can't go anywhere. I'll die from boredom here. You're wrong. No one has ever died of boredom. And you have me. Your cartoons. And Mom and Dad will be good to each other soon. And you know what I would wish for on my next birthday? I'd wish for Mom and Dad to turn into children so we could go play together like we used to. Yeah, if you go make them as small as bugs, we could place them into a little box. Ola giggled and tugged at my sleeve. Tony, let's go watch Aladdin. Fatigue won over my desire to be with my little sister. I was washed over by some sort of hideous apathy. I'm too tired, I don't want to. Come on. You're so boring, alone, and Mom's always busy. We could pick a cartoon you haven't seen before. I know all of our tapes by heart at this point. Not all of them. You haven't watched Peter Pan. Remembering how you fell asleep in the middle of it. And so much happens after that. Let's go. Maybe a bit later. Should I tell you how it ends? Let's leave that for tomorrow. I won't tell you tomorrow. I know. Let's play hide and seek. No, Ola. Then draw me a dino. Ola, please. Draw it. Will you leave me alone already? I blurted out without thinking, and then I was immediately taken back. I'd never screamed at my little sister like that. Ola stared back at me in shock. Her lips started trembling, a precursor to tears. My chest was seething with disgust and embarrassment. What's happening to me? I hurried to prevent Ola from crying. Alright, you win. Let's go watch cartoons for a bit. I don't wanna. I came up to her, put my hand on her soft head. Let's go. Let's go watch Peter Pan. Boo, you'll fall asleep again. I smiled and lifted her chin with eyes. Her eyes were wet and felt bottomless. Promise I won't. And I'll draw you a full Triceratops later. Hooray! Triceratops. Get it? Well, close enough. Ola rubbed her eyes with a sleeve on of her pajamas, and a shining smile returned to her face. I'll go ask Mom for condensed milk and bread, and you'll rewind the tape. The bread is fresh, just how you like it. Alright, just be careful not to spill the milk, or you'll be yelled at again. Wanna bet I won't spill it? The tape is somewhere in the nightstand. Look for it. Ola disappeared into the doorway, and I dragged my feet into the neighboring room. Piggy bank. Ola is saving money for a real puppy because Dad said that taking care of him will take a lot of money. Aw. What the fuck was that? Oh. Teddy bear. Ola's countless toys. An old teddy bear is the main attraction here. Ola doesn't go to sleep without it. And she digs her nose into its fur when she sleeps. Scary window where Ola sees the accursed owl every night, lurking in the dark. Ola keeps curtains open during the day, but as soon as the twilight comes, she shuts them tight, so she wouldn't see a pair of hungry eyes outside. What else can I look at? Looked at everything. The old photon TV was gathering dust in the corner. All that was left was clicking the button on the front panel. The tube warmed up, and a familiar white noise started dancing on the black screen. I almost reached out to turn the VCR when the noise calmed down and a blurry image appeared for a moment. It was the dark tide before us, just like the one outside my window. The picture split the screen in half. That's fucking freaky. Imagine that actually happening. Something creepy resembling human speech was coming out of the speaker. Just a few minutes later, the scenery was again overshadowed by noise. Did it catch some rogue signal? Local TV station only really showed Soviet cartoons, and even that was pretty rare. And only just recently I used to always watch Robotech before school. It was so awesome. Maybe I should tinker with the antenna? What if I catch the channel signal again? On the other hand, Ola asked me to find the tape. It wouldn't be nice to disappoint her. But in my sleepy state, I don't have the strength to do all of it. Ooh, shit. Fuck. I get a choice. I don't want to be an asshole. I'll search for the fucking tape. Shifted through shelves full of dolls and blue hippos from Kinder Surprise. Found the tape needed thanks to the shabby spine. I got the black rectangle from its box. The tape inside it rested while rewinding to the beginning. The rustle was luring me to sleep. Drowsiness attacked me while I was squatting before the TV. Images whirled in my head, me and Ola flying above the forest, tumbling in the soft clouds. My little sister is laughing, but her smile becomes more and more forced with every passing second. I noticed that in the clouds underneath us part, bearing the bristly pine tops, swamping darkness slurred among the trees. The wings are no longer able to hold us. And Ola, you haven't started without me, have you? My sister brought the tray with unevenly cut bread and a whole can of condensed milk. I rubbed my eyes. No, come sit. My mom and dad are arguing again. They're going through rough times. Rough times are lame. Pin screen. Wendy was hiding Peter Pan's shadow in the dresser. Ola was entertained by the cartoonish dog Anna. Maybe mom and dad will buy us a dog too. They actually have stills from Peter Pan. That's fucking hilarious. Yeah, right. I'll have my own dog in Neverland and a cat and a parrot. Ola smeared a slice of bread with thick layer of condensed milk and handed it to me. I've never tried bread with condensed milk. Have you lost all your baby teeth? Obviously. Ola frowned deep in thought. Peter Pan is a baby thief. What if they won't let you go to his land with adult teeth? We'll think of something. We'll ask Dad to alter your age in the passport. And why would Dad forge documents? Ola took a bite from the sandwich and started talking with her mouth full. I held Mom. I heard... Oh yeah, she's like a baby, so I heard Mom that he did that before. They'll grow ears as big as Dumbo's. Or you'll grow ears. Ola got worried and touched her ear. I smiled to myself. My little sister was silent now. She just devoured bread, watching the adventures of Peter Pan, Tinkerbell, and James Hook, as if she got sucked into a fairy tale in Neverland. To be honest, I also imagine myself there, in a land where no one ages, where no one argues over little things, where no one listens to fights and the sound of broken plates at night. It felt like I was dreaming with my eyes still open. Then my sister's scream pulled me back to reality. Tony, shut the curtains fast. Why? No one's watching here. It's dark, and when it's dark, the owl comes. I'm scared. I get out of bed, fighting my drowsiness, and close the curtains. I did my best not to look outside toward the treetops, toward the top of the forest, which seemingly drew closer and closer. Of course, it was just a visual effect from the shadow of the branches scraping the snow. Tony, Mom thinks I made the owl up. And Dad, too, thinks I'm a liar, since I'm small. But the owl exists. Honestly, it does. Do you believe me, right? And it comes every night, and I swiftly grabbed Ola's hand and looked her in the eyes. I was trying to transfer at least some of my courage and determination. But did I really have those qualities? Yes, I believe you. Alright? Just don't nag our parents about it anymore. They're already dealing with a lot, so they'll just get mad at you. Come and tell me if anything happens. And don't look at the window. But it wants me to look. Doesn't matter. Act like it doesn't exist and never existed. Like it's made up. Just like Mom and Dad say. We'll get tired of waiting and fly away. It was madness, but after everything that's happened recently, I was more and more inclined to believe Ola's owl existed. We followed Peter's Pan adventures as if nothing had happened. As if the forest didn't kidnap kids, as if our parents weren't tearing each other apart bit by bit. Captain Hook was running away from the crocodile, and Captain Pan was headed to London on a gilded sailboat. By some miracle, I lasted longer than my little sister. Ola's eyelids had dropped. She started snorting lightly, resting her chin on the side of the bed. I stood up and left Ola's room. I was looking out the window, studying the field, when Mom peeked into my room. Enough playing around. It's your first day at school tomorrow. Go to bed. You should sleep properly. You don't want to be teased for being sleepy, right? Adults think everything's so simple. As if sleep would ensure my classmates would like me. I covered myself with a blanket up to my neck and listened to the house humming, to something invisible rustling in the corner. My inner voice had a question for me. Do I want to hear that mysterious flute again? Yes or no? Maybe it's just part of the growing up and I can't fully understand my own desires. The forest wailed behind the barrier that was my walls. Some ethereal, eternal, wandered the fields. Branches shook as if calling to me. Branches shook as if calling for me. The wind howled on in the night. My thoughts were like annoying flies that entered my head before becoming weak and tangled. I didn't notice how I fell into slumber. Thank you for completing episode 1 of Tiny Bunny. Did you enjoy it? Alright, well, you know what? It was a little bit longer than I thought it was going to be. But honestly, it was pretty good. It caught me off guard with a few scares, and the writing's really good. The music is really good. The sound is really good. If you guys want to try this out, episode 1 is free right now. I don't know when episode 2 is going to come out. I'm guessing that when that comes out, you probably have to buy it. But I'm already I'll buy it. I'll play it. I actually really enjoyed this.